was recently quite a news story that came out of Massachusetts that shook up so many parents all across this country, many of us who aren't even parents. It was a story about a dance at the Boys and Girls Club in Woburn, and it turned into a frightening ordeal when 14 eighth graders overdosed on handfuls of prescription drugs called baclofen. The children were hospitalized, 13 of them were, 10 of them in critical condition, some of them near death. Some of the children had swallowed as many as 20 or 30 of the pills, which are prescribed for muscle spasms. Now, the impact of that night spread quickly, far beyond Woburn, all across this nation, as parents across the country started to ask themselves, my goodness, could this happen to my child? Could my child do that? Well, one parent who was very worried is a mother joining us now from Los Angeles. This is Debbie. She's a mom who's struggling to deal with her 16-year-old son, as many mothers in this nation are. This is Brandon. And Brandon, I understand that Mom was real concerned when she read that story, like so many other mothers, because she's got a problem with some of the drugs that you're using, right?
Yeah.
What's going on in the house, Debbie? Just tell me what this did to you. I know this is a tough one, Debbie, and you know something? There are mothers and children who clamor on planes to come to this big old strange city to sit right there because they care about their kids and they love them. And I promise you this hour we will make some kind of difference for you and your son.
Take your time. I can talk it out.
Take your time. I'm right here with you.
You know, well, the last couple years I've had problems with Brandon running away, and just about a year ago I think he started doing drugs, and he drinks, and he's not only just smoking pot, he's smoking speed, and running away a lot, you know, a lot, filing missing persons reports at the police station all the time. And last week I have a friend in church, and she just said, you know, you got to do something. Mm-hmm. And I've listened to people say, you know, tough love, you got to let them go on the street. You got to let them do what they want until they hit rock bottom, and then they'll be home. You know, let them do it the hard way.
And what do you think when people tell you that? Just let your son go out in the street and do those drugs, and when he hits a rock bottom, he'll learn.
You know, I wasn't sure. I've listened to so many different people, and last week I was on the phone with hotlines everywhere, and I spoke to one lady out in Costa Mesa, and she said, you know what, I don't know who you're talking to. This must be people from the old tough love, you know, whatever. And she said, if you let a kid go out there and this day and time and hit rock bottom, you're going to be burying them. Mm. And
that's your biggest fear, isn't it?
You know, yeah, because they don't even know what they're doing. You know, God forbid, I used to be a drug addict. You know, I'm born again Christian. My boys are 4 years now, and I know what it's like. And he knows I used to do the drugs, and I just don't. And you don't know what drugs you're getting. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know if.
Well, drugs these days are very different than the ones, I think, right, back when you were your son's age. Brandon, talk to me a little bit here, man, because your mom's worried. I mean, I think you know what her biggest worry is, that she's going to be burying you 6 feet under when she wants you to stand as a 6-foot-tall good man.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit. What's going on?
I don't do drugs just to be cool. I do it because I want to forget about my problems. Because I got a lot of problems I got to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Now listen, I hear a lot of sucking of the teeth back there, and then I see some people shaking their head because they've been there before. This is this one young man's experience, and let's don't judge him before we hear his story. So what is it that's going on, Brandon? Because you know something, that is why a lot of people do drugs. It is why a lot of people drink. It is why a lot of people do things that are crazy, because they're trying to deaden some kind of difficulty. What are the difficulties you find yourself going to that makes you turn to drugs?
Well, when I was like 12 or 13, my mom pulled me into my house and told me that my dad that raised me for like 13 years wasn't my biological father. Mm. And plus, like, just gangs. People want to kill me in Hawthorne, LA, and Ontario.
Let's go back before we get to the gangs, because a lot of times we are dealing with what goes on in our own house before we deal with what's going on in the streets. What did that do to you when you found out that this father, I mean, here you are, a teenage boy, about to go into puberty, you're about to become a young man, and then you find out, boom, that everything that you thought that you had in a father was not real. What does that do to a young man when those types of things happen to his life?
Yeah, it hurts him, I guess. It destroys his mentality.
Mm-hmm. Makes you feel like you were lied to all your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You deal with trust issues. So why don't you tell your mom, because it's real important during this hour, that y'all talk real honestly and that you listen real honestly. Can you just look at your mom, as we often do? It may feel corny. Believe me, it feels a little corny at first, but that's okay. It's something different. Tell her what that does to you.
I don't know. I don't know what it does to me.
I know you were hurt. I know
It made
you.
me feel like crap.
I know you were really hurt. I know. You know, you don't. You don't know. It's hard to be a parent. Hard to know. There's no classes, and you don't know sometimes the rights and the wrongs, the things to do. And now, I mean, you can't go back. You know, but you have to be honest with your children. You do. You have to, from as little as they can understand. You know. And I'm sorry that we weren't. I know he loves that man to this day. I mean, this is going to sound funny, but I have feet just like Dad, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, he still loves the man, and he's in his life, but it's just hard. And he has a little brother, Cameron, who's 9 years old, and
who's looking up to Brandon,
yes,
to make the right decisions.
He is, and he's very worried about Brandon. Last week, and I know Brandon is selling drugs too. I don't know how much. I know.
Well, I think it probably is a lot if Brandon was telling the truth about these gangs being after him. That's stone cold involved in some kind of illicit activity, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
So I get the impression you might be a little scared for your own life yourself. So are you here to do what? What made you decide to come with Mom on that plane? Because y'all made this decision just last week. What made you decide to make, you know something, which could be the most courageous thing you've done in your short life, to come here today?
I don't know.
And we're going to let you think about it. I think it was very interesting that Brandon told our producers that we deal with consequences of what our parents do. So many times we don't know what we're doing to our kids, but if it is affecting their mindset, the way they feel about themselves, it's going to affect the decisions they make for themselves. How did 14 supervised children, those supervised children, these were children who were mostly honor students, how did they end up, getting back to that story that affected Debbie and so many others, the story from Massachusetts, how did those kids end up in a hospital emergency room, some of them clinging to life back in February, all because of a drug overdose? We're going to take a look during this hour at the epidemic of not only drug abuse among teens, but some other very difficult issues that they're faced with these days. Surviving high school, that can be the first toughest lesson of life. And that's what we're talking about today on Rolonda.
Here you go, honey.
Remember when your son was a baby?
There you go. Whoops.
Well, now it can all come back to you.
Good. Good. Let's have one more bite.
All he has to do is sniff glue, paint, or a household cleaner to get high.
That's a good one.
After all, not all kids who do inhalants die. Not your kid. Inhalants are damaging somebody's. Talk to yours now.
That young man that you just saw there is a young man we've been talking to, 16-year-old Brandon. He's joined here with his mom, Debbie. Debbie says that she is just at her wit's end. She's worried, like so many other mothers across the nation, because her son is getting involved in some gang activity. He's selling drugs, he's taking drugs, but he's also here because he does want to make a difference. I mean, I'm going to look at this as a positive trip to New York City, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
Brandon, you said to one of my producers that we as children, as you were talking, deal with consequences of what our parents do. And I guess that what you were telling us before the break is you also sometimes have to deal with the consequences of what Mom and Dad say. And when you learn that The father you thought was your dad up to the time you were 14 years old wasn't. Maybe Mom doesn't understand what that did to you. Can you tell her how it affected your life, that news? Talk to your mom.
It hurt. It's because all those years, you could have raised me telling me that I had another dad, you know, or you could have just waited longer. If you waited longer, it would have hurt more. So you should have just raised me telling me that instead of letting me thinking this whole time.
I know, but Brandon, I know that. I know that now. You know I know that now. I don't know what else to tell you. Is that we need to work on it, and that's why we're here to talk about it, and I hope that we get help, that you get help, and I get help, and your little brother, we all get help together after this. This is why we're here, you know? I mean, kids, those kids that took I can't believe it, 14 years old, that took those pills. I mean, how young do we have to start, you know?
Yeah.
I know you didn't. I hope to God that you don't take things like that, things you don't even know what they are. I hope to God that this helps and that you stop.
When we heard that story, Brandon, you know, from Woburn, Massachusetts, you've got mostly girls, 13 to 16 years old. Some of those girls had gone to that party, folks, with the Boys and Girls Club to celebrate just having made the cheerleading squad. Some of those kids were honor students, and the cops say they were dropping like flies after they took that muscle spasm suppressant. But when Debbie saw that, she worried about you. Could that happen to you? You know what crowd you hang in. Could Mom be really for real in worrying that you might die?
I don't know. She could. Yeah. Yes.
Do you think that you won't die? Do you think that what you do is not going to make you die?
Well, yeah.
You're not as scared when you take it?
Mm-mm. It's because I don't abuse speed, but weed, and that gonna kill me.
Let me tell you something interesting about that story in Massachusetts. There were 2 kids who the authorities say would have been dead had the authorities not contacted their parents, knowing they had been at that same party, and said, go check your child. They wouldn't be here. And that's just because folks knew. So do you understand that kind of fear that Mom may have? Do you want, you also said that you don't see a future for yourself. And I look at such a gorgeous young man, and I just find that so hard to believe. Is that true?
Yeah, now. Before, I thought I was gonna go to the Marines, but ain't got much choice.
You know, he's talking about because he doesn't have an education.
Brandon, it's never too late to get an education. I've got 60-year-old friends who just finished college. So it's never too late to do that. Brandon, a little later in this show, you're going to meet 2 good friends of mine who I met who were sitting in the very position that you're in, sitting next to some relative who said, I am so concerned I'm going to be burying this loved one 6 feet under. And I'm going to update you on what happened to them. They're going to talk to you just a little bit because I think that you do want to change, don't you? And I think it's real smart that you've identified what gave you the initial problem, and it does take therapy to get through that, and that's okay. That's okay. Also, when we get back, a woman who had to face high school graduation, knowing that she had something very difficult to face, she found out she was HIV positive. But first, we're going to check in on Jackie and Jay, my buddies I just told you about, who talked about their drug use on our show last fall. We're going to catch up with them and see how life has changed and what better decisions they may be making right after this. List what kinds of drugs you're doing, first of all, so we get an idea of...
Right now, probably meth, glass, Special K, ecstasy, pot.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode of Rolonda, and I hope that you'll subscribe and follow so many of my other activities on my Rolonda channel, including some stand-up comedy, some podcasts, some great auntie advice, and loads of laughs and lots of fun. So subscribe and stay tuned. Now, let's get back to the show.
Why do some people still risk their lives for sex?
I wouldn't give no disease to anyone.
You could be doing it now, for all we know. Unprotected sex.
Maybe I'm not going to live to be 30.
Next, Rolonda.
There's this thing going around called sniffing. You think you're getting high, but the dizzy, fuzzy feeling is just what happens when your brain doesn't get oxygen. The chemicals get in the way. So it's like you're not breathing. That's how sniffing causes brain damage and death. So when you think you're sniffing, your brain thinks you're drowning. And your brain is pretty much right.
Boy, I tell you, I am so proud of the Partnership for a Drug-Free America. We use so many of their public service announcements, and I would like to thank them for their efforts in trying to save our children. And we're in partnership with you, for sure. This young man had something to say to Debbie and Brandon.
Brandon, what I want to say to you is that, you know, I've been in a similar situation like what you're going through now, you know, and I'm important, you're important. That's what you got to keep telling yourself. I'm important, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, if life was so easy for us as growing up, as becoming young adolescents to adults, you know what I'm saying? We never have no worries in the world. We be handed everything on the platter. But it's hard. And you got to be a stronger individual to say that I can make it through. Drugs is not the answer.
Hold fast to those dreams, folks. Absolutely. Let me introduce you to a couple of folks who and I appreciate you, young man, absolutely. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of folks who somebody might have said last fall, oh, nothing's going to happen to these two. This is 17-year-old Jackie and 20-year-old Jay. They were just here last year, and here's Jay describing the drugs that he was taking back then.
I've done ecstasy, acid, opium, peyote, shrooms, cocaine, crack, crank, meth, hash, pot.
Now, the young man is, look at him. Has life changed?
Yeah, definitely a lot. I finally found my meaning for life, I guess.
What is your meaning for life? And thank goodness, Jay. Thank goodness.
Learning. I want to learn everything I can. I want to know as much as I can about everything, just about. So I went back to school now. I'm going to the community college right by where I live now, taking psychology courses, some ancient history courses.
Hold on a second. Now, that's Jackie sitting next to him, clapping and smiling like a brand new day there. Jackie's sister, when we first met her, Donna, was awfully worried about her, as we can see from this clip from last year.
I brought it on to myself, and I can understand and relate to her that she doesn't trust me, and I totally understand that, but I have changed. I've been getting out of a lot of things that I was into.
She has gotten a lot better, but it still doesn't solve the problem. She still does the drugs, which is...
I've been cutting back on it.
I just smoke pot every day. Cut back on it, Jackie. You're still doing drugs.
Have you changed today?
Yes, I have.
You have? Yes. I can look at you and tell. Both of them. Both of them. You can look at them. I am so proud. Jackie, tell us a little bit about how you've changed. Because I'm going to tell you, when I first saw you, I was like, I always get this way when we bring folks back. I'm always like, please, please have made a difference. We worked so hard to try to reach out and touch you teenagers. And it did make a difference?
It did touch me, yes. Like a month after it aired, I looked at my life, seen where I was at. I really had nothing going for me at the time. So I started working and trying to get back into school. I want to go to college. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
When you two listen to Brandon, can you relate to some of the things you hear Brandon saying? Talk to him a little bit. And
you just got to find your meaning for life, so to speak, I guess. You know what I mean? Like as he was saying, you know, you are important. You know, you're a person too. You know, we're all people here. You know, we all go through problems. We all are down to rock bottom. So you just got to pull yourself up now. Climb up that ladder. Stop digging the hole down. You know?
Now, Jay, was that easy for you? Because back when I talked to you, you were doing an 8-ball of cocaine a day.
Oh my God.
Yes, he was. Can you believe this is the same guy? I mean, that's true. You guys, and Jay, listen, and Jackie here had chipped a tooth huffing, right?
Yep.
How do you feel different?
I have more energy. I don't cough that much. I have asthma. It's like going down. I
Jay,
can
how do
breathe
you
again.
feel different?
I sleep a lot better now. I mean, I used to have really lousy sleeping habits. I'd be up till 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I usually went to bed at, you know, sunrise and, you know, woke up God knows when. I mean, I'd sleep all day. I mean, now I sleep regular hours.
Brandon, does that sound like you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you relate to what they're saying? I'm really proud of you. Really proud of you. Another young lady who's 16 years old made a fatal decision. She made the decision to have sex very early, and we're going to find out what happens when you find out you're just a teenager that you're HIV positive. This is a story of courage, but a story you need to take heed to, too. It could save your life. We'll be right back in a minute.
You know, when I was 16, 17 years old, I thought I'm supposed to be at UCLA. I'm supposed to be majoring in journalism. I'm supposed to follow Dr. Maya Angelou's footsteps, but I was HIV positive, homeless, hungry, and in a crack house wondering what happened to my life.
Now, if you're going to be in the New York area and would like free tickets to Rolonda, well, please call us.
When they're in high school, some teenagers feel pressured to take drugs and others feel pressured to have sex. If there's one woman who knows how unprepared teenagers can be to take those tough decisions and make a tough decision, it's probably Denise Stokes. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. And Denise was just sweet 16 when she discovered that she was HIV positive. She is 27 years old now. She is an AIDS educator, and she serves on President Clinton's AIDS advisory panel. And Denise, it's so good to see you. Nice to have you on the show today. I think the biggest thought is, and just during the commercial break, Denise, and you've heard the teenagers do this. You're an AIDS educator. Jay, Jackie, and Brandon were talking during the commercial break, and it's something that is kids, they don't think it can happen to them. And I think that that's what they all admitted, that they just don't think that life could be anything but glorious teenage life.
Well, I don't know. I was raped when I was 13, and that's how I lost my virginity, and that's there's a 98% chance that that's actually how I became infected with the virus. I did a couple of years later. I thought I was in love. I was 15. He wore Levi's. That's all it took. We were in love. You know, and I just had this strange misconception that because I was raped and because I had had sex, that kind of made me a woman, because I didn't know what womanhood was, and I thought that we should consummate our relationship and we had sex. And I come to find out later that that's not how I got the virus, but it was still a decision that I made that I wasn't ready for, and I suffered a lot of emotional repercussions behind it.
Plus, you could have endangered someone else.
Yes, I could have. And I did not know at the time I had the virus. As a matter of fact, when I was diagnosed at 16, I still didn't understand that it was a sexually transmitted disease. They just said, Denise, you have AIDS, you're going to die before you're 21. And I didn't even know what that meant. And being a kid, nobody else would tell me. Nobody wanted to tell somebody else's kid about sex. And Brandon, I know where you're coming from when you talk about doing drugs because maybe it made you feel better, it made you forget your problems, because I kind of got into the same thing. And I thought, you know, when I was 16, 17 years old, I thought I'm supposed to be at UCLA, I'm supposed to be majoring in journalism, I'm supposed to follow Dr. Maya Angelou's footsteps, but I was HIV positive, homeless, hungry, and in a crack house wondering what happened to my life.
You were in a crack house?
Yeah. And that was a better cry from the street corner. You know, I've really seen a lot in my life, and I made a lot of bad decisions, and a lot of it was because I just didn't know. There was a lot of things that I just didn't know. And when you are 15, 14, 16 years old and you go to adults with these questions, I'm talking to every parent in America, you need to answer your children. Because if you don't answer your children, they're going to make decisions that they're not prepared to make. There have been so many...
And what are parents not answering. And are our children really talking to parents?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's nobody's fault. It's a human condition that we're in that we all need to pull together and deal with. Some parents themselves didn't get the education. I
Well,
mean,
we just talked to Debbie, who freely admitted, hey, look, there's no lesson on how to be a parent. And quite honestly, I didn't make the best decisions either when I was a kid.
It's a group effort. I mean, kids, you can't just sit in your room thinking, gee, I'm in pain and my mommy isn't fixing it. You have to go to her and say, I hurt. This is what's wrong with me, and I really need your help on that. You know, you're really quick to go to your friends and ask them, but maybe your friends don't know.
Brandon, do you find you have enough people to talk to? Because I gotta tell you, there isn't a person in the world who will not admit that that's a heavy blow to find out that your dad wasn't your biological father. We understand that type of thing, but do you have some place that you can go and you can talk?
Yes, I do. The same person that was helping my mom, I could talk to her. It could be confidential, or I could talk to Carrie too.
Denise, what do you say to Brandon? Because I believe inside he has hopes of hopes, but it's kind of hard to dig out of that hole every once in a while. What do you say to him?
I say also, I can give you my number and you can call me collect any time of the day or night, because it's about having somebody there. And
yes, sir, Rashida.
I think that, you know, I can relate to what you're going through because I've been there, and I can relate to what you guys are going through because I've been there. We all have struggles. And we all think that we know, and sometimes it takes somebody else that's kind of been there to help pull us through.
This man is a parent, and he has something to say. I'm going to take a break and let you talk when I come back. Also coming up, a man who has worked with thousands of teenagers who says that those heart-to-heart talks that you have with your kids may not work, may work. We're going to talk with him how to approach your kids, how to get through. It may or may not be tough love. We'll talk about that right after this.
Hey man, what you need? What do I need? What do I need? I need to graduate. I need a job when I grow up. I need a future. I need to laugh. I need to have fun. I need to be a kid. I need to be healthy. I need a chance. I need peace. I need friends who care about me. Most of all, what I need is for you to get lost.
The next time a pusher asks you what you need, let him know.
All right, yeah! Wouldn't you love it if you would hear a kid say, I need you to get lost, drug dealer? I love that. That's great. That is just the type of stuff that we need to hear. And I love it that the kid is saying we need people who care about us. You are a father. Your kids have had to come to that situation. What did you want to say, and how do you talk to your kids?
Well, what I wanted to say was that, Brandon, you hang in there, buddy, and you're very fortunate to have a mother like Debbie. Yes. And Debbie, your testimony really touched me. I asked for some Kleenex because I really welled up, because that was about me. I have three, they're grown children now, but when my son and daughter were your age, they were all in high school, and I divorced, and my children went berserk. They were in alternative schools, alternative high school, alternative junior high school, and they were smart children. That's the reason why they were there. And all of a sudden, they were getting Fs. And the first time that I saw my two oldest children with their eyes all red and bobbing and weaving and talking and slurring, it touched my heart. And that's my fault. I did it. How could I have done that to my children? And then to top it off, sister, you just hang in there, because in 1990, I got my test and I'm HIV positive. But the Lord has held me in there for 8 years when the doctors told me you will live for 3 years. And I'm still alive! Watch what you say to your children. Watch how you live around your children. Know everything about them. If you're there and you search into their hearts, and let them to be someone that you can talk to. And don't let them, a lot of parents, a lot of children will not come to you because you will judge them and they are afraid of you. Yeah. But let your children, raise up your children with love. It's about love.
I must tell you this too, that it's not just parents who can have an influence on our kids. I mean, it's also kids that have influence on kids. It's also sisters and brothers, and it's also sometimes like a good boyfriend like Ryan over here. Ryan, you are Jackie's boyfriend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand that you have a way of keeping her on track, too. You don't play, huh?
No.
Tell me about it.
Well, when I first met her, she was still into the drugs. That was about a month after your show. And I just wouldn't let her talk about him at all around me. And we just clicked right off the bat, and she was with me all the time, so it never happened.
Where did you learn how to take care of such a nice lady?
Oh, I had a great family. My mom, my dad, they were great.
His family is awesome.
Yeah.
You take care of my girl now. You take care of her. Michael Riera might say the same thing. He's the Dean of Marin Academy in San Rafael, California. He is also the author of a book entitled Uncommon Sense for Parents with Teenagers. And he's got a new book out entitled Surviving High School, which gives us the title of our show today. I want to talk with you about how we can care for our kids and how kids can care for themselves in facing some of the difficulties. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back with some solutions for parents and teenagers after this. We've got secrets for success from superstar women. Meet author Jackie Collins.
You deal in a man's world with charm.
Successful women making it in a man's world on Rolonda. Joining us now is Michael Riera. He is the Dean of Marin Academy in San Rafael, California. And I just want to ask you, what are your observations so far?
Well, the first one is that I got some good news and some bad news, and teens know this better than their parents do, I think. The bad news is, as parents, we don't have control over our teenagers. We do not have the absolute control that you'd like to think that you have. That scares us, especially with the issues we're talking about today, especially with the issues Brandon's dealing with. The good news is, however, we have a whole lot of influence over our teenagers. And if we can learn to think more about the influence we have, we can really have a big impact on them. One of the biggest secrets of adolescents is that they really care what their parents think. It's hard to go out and tell them that directly. As parents, one of the things this means is our kids learn as much by what we do as what we say. So, given one of the things that's happening with teenagers, all the issues they're facing, their bodies are changing, their minds are changing, their friends are changing, they're trying to make friends, they're having sexual relationships. One of the best things we can do for them is show them how to deal with problems. And the way we do that is by dealing with our own problems. Because when we can deal with our own problems, then the idea of substance abuse, the idea of eating disorders is not nearly as attractive because they've got a means to deal with it. Brandon, I think, is absolutely right. I mean, one of the things that came up for you is that you're doing drugs to avoid your problems, to avoid pain. That's one of the things drugs do. They help us avoid pain, and we get away from it, and it feels good for a little while. But then they're there waiting for us afterwards, and then we have to go deal with them. And then it's harder to deal with them because we put them off. So as parents, one of the things we need to do is keep our lines of communication open with our kids, to keep talking to them. You know, there's an interesting statistic that came out. 97% of parents have had the conversation with their kids about drugs and alcohol. Well, hear this. 39% of the kids say they never heard the conversation. What this means is that it's more than one conversation. They're conversations that need to happen again and again. And it's not only from us to them, it's we recruit teachers to talk to them, we recruit coaches to talk to them. Sometimes one of the things we need to do is write them a note. Let them know how much we care about them. Let them know how much we love them and how much we care about them, even though right now we're going to play the tough role because that's what we need to do because they're dealing with some hard issues.
When this show is over, Debbie and Brandon are probably going to have a talk like they have never had in their lives before. These shows do change you. Jackie and Jay are testimony to that. What type of conversation should they have, or what type of conversation should mom sitting at home have with her teenager when they come home today?
I mean, this is a great point because one of the questions is, what do you talk to your teens about? Well, the incident at Woburn, there's a great example to talk about. What's happening here is important to talk about. But don't feel like you have to come to any resolution. It's an ongoing dialogue. You can ask your son or daughter, so has this ever come up with you? What would this be like for you? And they might say some things that are a little uncomfortable for you, but it's better that they're honest and you're a little uncomfortable than they just tell you the party line and then they go do something else.
Jay, I see you shaking your head. Talk to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of things that you're saying. I mean, one of the biggest problems, I think, is one of the communications between kids and adults. I mean, for the first major half of our lives, all we know is what we learn from our parents, basically. I mean, they're there all the time. They're the ones that are putting us to bed, you know. They're the ones that were giving us our food, giving us everything. But if we don't see something we like to, like about it, we tend to do just the opposite then.
Rier, did you have a wonderful explanation about parents and your changing relationship between parents and kids?
Yeah, what I say is that metaphorically, when we raise our kids, we're the manager of their life. We organize their life. Think of when your kids were 7 years old. Who was their favorite person in the world? Mommy and Daddy. That's who they wanted to be like. They wanted to dress like us, and we loved it. It feels great, when your kid's dressing like you and talking like you. But when they become a teenager, what they do is, metaphorically, they fire us as the manager of their life. They say, don't need that anymore, and they're right. The thing is, we can't just walk away. If we just walk away, it's abandonment and they're left on their own. If we don't walk away and insist on being manager, then everything's a power struggle.
So what position can a parent play once those kids fire you as manager?
Glad you asked that. The shift that I really think is helpful is to shift more to the role of being a consultant. So you're there for your child, you listen to them, you pay attention to them. One of the suggestions I have for every family is try to eat dinner together. Eating dinner together.
Now, I want to continue on that point because anybody who laughs at that just doesn't get it, because that's what it's about. Families coming together, if for no other reason than around to share chicken leg with each other. It's amazing what'll happen. How to help your teens handle the pressure of experimenting with drugs and sex, and what that sitting around dinner really means. We'll be right back in a minute. Great point. Great point. Let me tell you, things happen in some of the most mysterious or not so mysterious ways. While we are taping this very show, there is another little boy young man named Brandon who is making a big difference as we speak. Brandon Power is on a plane headed from Woburn, Massachusetts. He was one of the 14 kids who overdosed on those pills that we were talking about at the beginning of the show. He is on his way to go meet with the President of the United States of America to talk about the dangers of drugs and drug abuse. This is a kid who admitted that he did it because he was curious, he tried it, but he learned a lesson and he has a lot to talk about. So Brandon, there is another young man with your namesake who is going to make a difference because of the decisions that he's made. You see what I'm saying? You can always do something great. Joining us now is somebody I call one of Rolonda Show's angels. He is Kerry Quashin. You've seen him an awful lot on our show. He's a certified drug addiction specialist with Action, which is a nonprofit parent and teen support program. And every time you see this man on my show, it means help's a-coming. Help's a-coming. Go, Kerry.
Thank you, Rolonda.
That's quite a build-up, but you have helped so many teenagers and parents through our show.
Well, I heard a lot of people say it, and I guess I'll say it to everyone on the panel, is you're worth it. What's going on in your lives, I've seen you guys back is amazing, because I saw you on your first show and how you were defending your drug use.
Oh, were they? Have they changed like night and day?
Unbelievable. I am so proud of you two. You can't believe it.
I'm proud and I don't even know you guys.
And I wanted to make another comment real quickly, as I heard a couple people talking about parents feeling guilty and having all that remorse and stuff, and I'm going to say step past that, because as long as you're feeling guilty, you're stuck. And what we're responsible for is not so much yesterday anymore, that's history. We're responsible for today. And just like my colleagues were saying is, talk to your kids, be role models, don't be afraid, and move on. Take care of business. As far as Brandon and Debbie, I've been speaking to you guys on the phone, and Debbie, I don't know if you know how hard all this stuff is for your mom. I spent many phone calls listening to her cry and afraid that you're going to die and forget it. And I guess what I'm saying is what it's all about, Brendan, is family. It's not about drugs. And you're worth more than this. You can't even imagine how much more. So the Rolonda Show and I are looking. Do you want any help, first of all?
A little bit.
Explain.
I want help getting off speed and stop drinking and stop doing other stuff, but I still want to smoke weed.
You think? Do you think the speed?
He's honest. He's honest.
You know what though, and I'm not even going to get into that because every drug addict, I'm a counselor. I'm also recovering, and I've been clean and sober now for just about 17 years, and I said the same thing. You know? But the thing is you got on a plane, you came 3,000 miles, and you're asking for help. And if you want it, we went to some great measures to find a treatment program. It's called Anacapa by the Sea. It's close to you. It's one of the best in the country. And we've worked it out, we've meaning the Rolonda Show and myself, that you can go in there. And they will get you off speed and help you deal with your family and help you deal with all the stuff that hurts you. All the stuff you're asking for, they can do. What do you say?
Thank you.
That's my boy. Yay! We got another family member of the Rolonda Show. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of you too, Mom. So what do you think, Mom?
I'm surprised. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I did. When he said he would give up everything but pot,
But it's a start. I'm so proud of you because we're gonna follow you. We're gonna, you can run, but you can't hide from us when we love you that much. If you were sitting out at home and you're a teenager and you're in trouble with drugs and you want to make some better decisions, like the courageous young people on our show today, we're going to give you a number to call when we come back, and we're going to get back to the importance of that family dinner too as soon as we come back. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
He says he rarely uses a condom and has been lucky so far.
Are you proud of that 4 days you partied straight?
Oh, yeah.
Why do some people still risk their lives for sex?
I wouldn't give no disease to anyone.
You could be doing it now for all we know.
Find out what these two kids learned the hard way.
I am HIV positive.
Maybe I'm not going to live to be 30.
Could this happen to you?
You're going to end up in a coffin one day and you're going to regret it.
Unprotected sex next Rolonda.
If you are a teenager in trouble with drugs, you can get help by calling the Action Hotline at 1-800-4-TEENS. Yes, it's just that simple, 1-800-4-TEENS. And if you're interested in treatment, you can call Anacapa by the Sea, and we certainly support that group, Anacapa by the Sea, at 1-800-487-8377, 1-800-487-8377, and that is in California. Very quickly, important to have dinner at home with the family. Why?
Why it's important is because parenting a teenager is one of the most difficult things you ever do. And it's the little things that add up to the big things. And every night at dinner, you can look one another eye to eye. Even if the dinner's only 12 minutes, you're having eye-to-eye contact and you're checking in with one another.
That's right.
It's a commitment with behavior.
Very quickly, Denise, before we say goodbye, some of your words of wisdom.
I don't know, I just wanted to say that for those of you who are watching and kind of half in it, half out of it, I want you to realize that your children could die. And I want you to realize that you could die. And at 28, I've seen death, and I've faced it so many times. And that we talk about all the ills of the world and society. You have to put yourself and your heart into it, and you really have to care. And you can make a difference, and you can change.
That's right. Thank you all so much. Brandon, we're pulling for you. We're counting on you, man. We're proud of you. You did such a great job today. You really did. Mom, you were right.